I hate the fact that my life's in limbo and I've got no control over it whatsoever. I don't know if I'm going to have a job tomorrow, next week, month's time.
Jimmy Baker has worked at the Tahmoor coal mine in New South Wales for the past 20 years. But since February, the operation, owned by troubled steel magnate Sanjeev Gupta, has been temporarily shut down.
There's been days where I really do struggle. That's when I realise I've got to try and get out of my own head, go for a walk. We were told we were going to be stood down for, I think it was 6 to 8 weeks initially. I thought in my gut feeling it was going to be longer, but the company said it was 6 to 8 weeks and they were getting funds.
4 months on, those funds are yet to arrive. Sanjeev Gupta is struggling to keep his global empire afloat amid poor economic conditions and the murky collapse of key financier Greensill Capital in 2021.
Well, it certainly seems to be a house of cards which is rapidly collapsing. We're seeing multiple entities in different group structures, in often very different businesses, that are all experiencing significant financial distress at the same time.
The Tahmoor mine employs about 560 full-time and contract workers.
People think we're sitting at home, we're rich coal miners sitting at home getting paid. We're on basic pay. So by the time I've paid mortgage, child support, you're down to $60 some weeks.
The same month Jimmy Baker and his colleagues were stood down from the Tahmoor mine, the South Australian government took the extraordinary step of placing Mr Gupta's Whyalla Steelworks into administration because bills weren't being paid. Trade and other creditors were found to be owed more than $1 billion.
From the very first moment that I picked up the phone to the Prime Minister last year and I said, there's trouble in Whyalla, before I could finish my ask, he said, well, how can we help?
The South Australian and federal governments have announced a $2.4 billion rescue package to help secure the steelworks' future.
Fellas, we're going to talk more about the current situation where we're at Tahmoor Colliery.
While the funding package has buoyed steelworkers in South Australia, those at the Tahmoor mine feel deflated and alone.
The prolonged uncertainty is certainly putting a lot of psychological pressure on the members and their families. The uncertainty and the lack of communications from the company is terrible.
The New South Wales government is owed royalty payments and the mine is in arrears with its water bills, a similar situation to what was faced by the South Australian government.
The coal produced at Tahmoor is a high-grade coal used for steel production. We need to get it operating again. I call on the state government to intervene and arrange a tripartite meeting between Mr Gupta, the department and myself and other stakeholders to clearly explain when he's going to start that operation back up.
In a statement, the New South Wales Natural Resources Minister, Courtney Houssos, said she's been monitoring the situation at Tahmoor closely and that it's in everyone's best interests for GFG to quickly resolve their financing and end the uncertainty. A spokesperson for Mr Gupta's GFG Alliance said it was working hard to secure the funding required for a resumption of normal operations.
That's actually what the material looks like. Rocks in, rocks out. There's nothing pretty about it. It's not shiny.
Andrew Taylor worked at this manganese smelter in Tasmania's northeast for 43 years before retiring 18 months ago.
We've got lots of young people at the site, at the smelter, lots of young families, and we've got highly, highly skilled people. We've got some of the smartest people in the world.
Near regional Georgetown, Sanjeev Gupta's Liberty Bell Bay will soon stop operations for 4 weeks. Most of its 250 workers won't be required and are expected to use their leave entitlements.
Yeah, it's tough. It's really tough. And they don't know from one day to the next. They know that there's a temporary suspension. It's not redundancy, it's not this, it's not that. But they're still people. Sorry. It's all right.
The company is largely blaming ore supply challenges after a cyclone affected its main supplier, GEMCO, in the Northern Territory last year. But GEMCO resumed ore shipments 3 weeks ago.
So why isn't it shipping ore out to Tasmania? Or, and I just float this as a genuine question, or is there doubt in the mine owner's mind about the future capacity of Liberty Bell Bay or GFG Alliance more broadly to pay its bills for that ore?
A spokesperson said Liberty Bell Bay has made a declaration for ore, but is working through a contractual process.
It needs to be more transparent, in my view, about what its operating model really looks like, and in turn what the investment regimes are going to be for such assets.
One of the features of Mr Gupta's global empire is that it is very opaque. And so lots of companies that have dealings with each other, often not a lot of independent, transparent reporting of financial results. The whole global structure seems to be on the precipice of collapse.
Last month, Sanjeev Gupta flew to Hobart for a meeting with the Premier.
At the moment we are seeing, I guess, all those different facets of your business failing. Are you taking some responsibility for that?
Well, we have headwinds at the moment. We're doing our best to address them, and the discussion we had today was positive in that respect. Thank you.
The spokesperson said the business was continuing to work closely with the federal and Tasmanian governments.
I think what the state government and the federal government should be doing contingency planning for is what if GFG does collapse, what does the state and indeed the country do about that?
At some point I think we're entitled to ask, where were the gatekeepers here? Why weren't more questions asked? Because the media has certainly been asking questions about the sustainability of Mr Gupta's empire for years, and yet creditors keep lending him money. Governments keep giving him handouts, and I think the public is entitled to ask why.
After months at home, Jimmy Baker has enjoyed catching up with his work colleagues after a union meeting, but he's losing hope about returning to work.
The future looks grim. I hope that we're back and cutting coal in no time at all. But the longer it drags on, it looks grimmer and grimmer. My biggest fear going forward is being 52 and jobless. What company's going to hire a 52-year-old